Hi everyone, I am Chris O'Neill from Sew the Distance. Thank you for joining me for week 16 of our Sewing Room Organization Challenge. So this is the month of June, and in June our theme is finding. So buttons, zippers, trim, ribbon, all of that stuff that we kind of have scattered about in our sewing space and we can never seem to get our hands on when we need it, or at least I can't. I spent a lot of time digging through buttons, finding the right color. So last week I organized them by color, making that job a little bit easier. I also organized my zippers the week before, and this week we are going to talk about hardware. Most quilters I know make tote bags, handbags, wallets, all that stuff too. I know not all of you, but a lot of us do. It's a nice quick project. A lot of times we do it between projects, and of course we have so much stuff to carry around. It's good to have all those handbags, right? With handbags and wallets and totes and all of that comes hardware, or at least a lot of times hardware is involved. Even though I have quite a collection of hardware, I tend to rebuy things when I get a new pattern. So if I see that it calls for a D-ring a certain size, instead of going to my collection of hardware and looking to see if I have that D-ring, I end up rebuying it. And that's become a real issue for me. So when I lived in Massachusetts and had the sewing room in my dining room, I organized them in these drawer containers. And these are great. I love the look of them. However, it wasn't a very manageable system. It was a pain in the neck to see what I had and to pull things out and to even put things away. So even though it looked really neat on a shelf, it wasn't functional for me. So I used to store my thread in these thread cases that I got at Joann's, and I don't store my thread in them anymore because my husband made me this really incredible thread rack that's behind me here, and I'll put a link to the video of him making that here as well. Anyway, when I transferred all my thread to this thread rack, I had these boxes, and they're great because they're double-sided and I can see everything that's in them. I'm going to try using this for my hardware organization right now. I don't know if it'll work or not. I hope so. I like the idea of this because I can see everything I have. It has two sides. It's heavy duty. I can store it standing up or laying down. So I really do like this container, but I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. And I think that's important as we're organizing. Sometimes you have to try out solutions and be willing to abandon that idea and go to something else if it doesn't work. And that might be the case with this, or it might not. It might work out beautifully. Either way, I'm organizing all of my hardware, and as you can see, I have a lot. I'm using these compartments. I wish they were a little bigger for some of the stuff, but I'm going to try it out and see if it works. As you can see, I'm stuffing as much as I can into these, and if I have to go to a second compartment, I do. So as you can see, it does fit everything, but I am busting at the seams. I know I have another one of these thread boxes somewhere in our moving adventures. It's probably in our basement in some sort of storage container. I should probably find it and maybe go to a second case. Another thing I'm not a fan of is when I pick this up, the pieces did slide out because there are notches in the thread compartments. It doesn't exactly hold everything together. So already I'm starting to see some issues with this, but I'm still going to try it. It's not something I pull out all the time, and I might just be able to deal with them sliding into different compartments. But the big takeaway from this is that we try out different solutions for organizing our things, whether it be hardware or zippers or whatever. Find what works for you, and don't be afraid to try out solutions to some of the issues we have, and understand that they might not work and we might have to go to plan B, C, or D. So your task this week, your favorite part, right? I get to give you some homework, is to go through all of your hardware, pull out the ones that you no longer want. There are a few key rings that were very cheaply made that I bought that I'll never use because they're so flimsy. So I'm going to donate them, get rid of them. And there's also some hardware that I harvested from other things, like when I would go to thrift stores or something like that, that I probably will never use, and I will also donate those. But overall, I have a lot that I want to keep because I do want to continue making things. And I have a lot of key rings, as you can see, because I like making key rings, especially for small gifts or even party favors and stuff like that. So I do tend to have a little extra of those lying around. They are also great when I'm making a pouch that I want to hang. I can put a key ring right on it and hang it on a hook, which always works nicely too. Your second task, after you sort through everything and decide what you're going to keep, is to organize it and contain it in some way. I've seen hardware organized in many different ways, whether it be in one of these organization boxes or in silverware drawer inserts or simply in baggies like I had in the box that I moved them in. Whatever works for you and whatever system is going to be maintainable by you. That, I think, is one of my biggest issues with organizing, is that I need to be able to put things away when I pull it out, and I need to be able to do so easily. I just know that about my own personality. I tend to just stack things instead of actually putting them away. So the easier it is for me to put something away, the better. Anyway, find whatever works for you for containing them. And finally, your last task is to do something fun with this hardware. Maybe take some time this week to make something, whether it be a little key ring or a wallet or a small tote bag or something, because adding hardware to your work is really fun. It makes you, I don't know, empowered or something. You're like, wow, I did that. I can't believe I actually added hardware to this tote bag. So give it a try. It's a lot of fun and it's kind of empowering too. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Sewing Room Organization Challenge. I'll see you next week for week 17 of our organization challenge, and I hope you have a wonderful week and take some time to enjoy the space that you're creating. I'll see you soon. Bye.